Morning, boys and girls. The story that I'm going to read to you guys today is called Lucy's Picture. Lucy's Picture is written by Nicola Moon and illustrated by Alex Alif. I hope you enjoy the story. Lucy's Picture. Lucy's Picture. My grandpa's coming to visit today, said Lucy. How nice, said Mrs. Kelly. Now, take a seat because we're all going to do some painting. Can I do a picture for Grandpa? Asked Lucy. Of course you may, said Mrs. Kelly. Lucy looked at the big sheet of white paper in front of her. Can't you think of what to paint, Lucy? Asked Mrs. Kelly. What would your grandpa like? Something nice and bright? Look at those lovely colors. So they're all going to paint a picture. Lucy looked at the red and the yellow and the sky blue paints. They're not right, she said. May I use the glue? May I stick things on to make a picture? You mean a collage? Of course, but you'll have to sit at another table. There's not enough room here. Lucy took her paper to an empty table in the corner. She went and found a bottle of glue, some scissors, and the box of scraps. Lucy loved Mrs. Kelly's box of scraps. She liked plunging her hands deep in the box and feeling with her eyes shut. So the scraps are things that are left over. It could be leftover paper, it could be leftover fabric, but she liked putting her hands down in and feeling everything inside. Lucy started her picture. She cut some soft green velvet in curvy mounds for hills and stuck them on the paper. She made a lake out of blue shiny stuff and put it in between the hills. Then she found some flowery dress material. Grandpa has flowers like this in his garden, Lucy told Mrs. Kelly. Lucy cut around the flowers and stuck them in little clumps along the edge of the lake. You can see right here where she's starting her picture. See her lake right in the middle? And then here's where she's putting the flowers around the lake. At recess, Lucy was too busy to play. Instead, she collected twigs, leaves, and 2 small feathers. Then she filled her empty juice cup with sand from the sandbox. At last, it was time to go inside. So here she is where she's collected all of her things. There's the feathers, and she has the sand in her juice cup. Now Lucy was even more excited about Grandpa's picture. She made him a tree out of the twigs and the leaves, and she stuck the feathers on the end of a branch. Then she squeezed a long winding ribbon of glue over the hills and sprinkled sand over the glue to make a path. Boy, she's very busy, isn't she? My grandpa's got a dog, Lucy told Mrs. Kelly. She's called Honey because that's what color she is. When Mrs. Kelly wasn't looking, Lucy trimmed a piece of her own hair and glued it to a dog she had made from a piece of paper. So right here, can you see that she's cutting her own hair? Oh my goodness. That's lovely, Lucy, said Mrs. Kelly when it was story time. She put Lucy's picture safely on the side to dry along with all the paintings. Lucy couldn't wait to go home. She hadn't seen Grandpa in a long time. So there's her picture. And then there's her teacher, Mrs. Kelly, about to read a story to all the kids. Kind of like we're doing right now. Her mother was waiting as usual, but today there was someone with her. "Grandpa!" cried Lucy. She nearly knocked him off his feet. And I wonder what she has in her hand right there. Yeah, you guys are pretty smart. I bet you figured that out. "I made you a picture, Grandpa. Look!" Lucy grabbed her blind grandfather's hand and guided it over her picture. Now, her grandfather is blind. That means that his eyes don't see anymore, and so he can't see things. So she's guiding his hand over the picture so that he can feel the things on her picture instead. So Lucy grabbed her blind grandfather's hand and guided it over her picture. "These are hills, and here's the road." Grandpa touched the picture carefully. "A tree, a bird, and what's this?" "It feels like your hair, Lucy." "That's honey," said Lucy, smiling. "How clever, and what a wonderful surprise. It's the best picture I've ever seen," said Grandpa. And there's her picture. And hand in hand, Grandpa and Lucy and her mother walked home. Look, there's Honey right there. Can you tell that Honey has a special job? Yeah, Honey's job is to help Grandpa get from place to place so that he doesn't get hurt because he can't see things. Now, here are some other pictures that Lucy has done, and you can see that my book wasn't taken care of, and I had some kids draw in my book. Hopefully, we'll always take better care of books than that, but you can still see some of the other paintings. And these are even some pictures of what some of the other kids in the class did too. So boys and girls, I really, really like this book. I love the things that Lucy used from nature to make her picture. And it kind of reminded me about our Earth Day yesterday, about making pictures about saving the earth and doing kind things to make sure that our earth doesn't get dirty. And I also really like Lucy's picture because it lets us know that sometimes people's bodies work in different ways. And that's okay. And her grandpa, even though he couldn't see very well, he could still enjoy and touch her beautiful picture. So I hope you enjoyed the story, and I love you guys.